My parents and I used to live in Yellow Springs, Ohio. My father got a good job in Chicago, Illinois, and he decided to move with the whole family there. When we moved into our house, I wasn't so delighted at first. I had left all my friends back at Yellow Springs. I barely knew anyone around, and I found that I didn't have much to do. This was when I got introduced to the neighbors. We weren't exactly next-door neighbors, but it was a walking distance away from their house to ours, and I could spot their house through my window. The couple that lived there had 2 daughters. The elder daughter, Hazel, was a little shy, while the younger daughter, Laurel, was quite wild and fun-loving. I enjoyed spending time with them, and over the days I grew close to Hazel, as we were nearly the same age. I was about 17 when I moved to Chicago. Hazel and I would sit out on the porch and talk, while Laurel would race down the streets on her rollerblades. We both spoke of our college plans. Neither of us had any wish to go far. We were going to enroll into the community college and see where things would lead us from there. Before long, we were in our 4th year at college. Things were going well. Hazel had gotten a job as a makeup artist at a film production studio. And I was working at a small company in the city. Hazel was just as she was before. We were practically best friends, and I could sense that something was always on her mind, but she never specified on anything that was bothering her. "Hazel, what's wrong?" "It's nothing, leave it." "Are you ever going to tell me what's on your mind?" "No, Zoe, I told you nothing's wrong." "You think 'no, I'm fine' is going to fool me? Tell me what happened." "All right, it's just Dan. He can be difficult sometimes. He has the strangest fantasies." "Oh, I see what's going on." "Zoe, stop. This is why I didn't want to tell you." Stan was Hazel's boyfriend. I never really liked the guy, but if Hazel loved him, what could I say? It was between the two. Hazel would often tell me about things that would be happening in the house or at work. I would always try to cheer her up whenever I saw her down. But I guess I failed. It's been 3 years since Hazel took her own life, at the young age of 25. I was shocked when I found out, and my heart ached on receiving the news. I remembered every instance when I had tried to poke Hazel into opening up. I felt guilty of not trying my best. I lost my best friend forever. I was never too close to her younger sister Laurel, but after Hazel passed away, Laurel and I gravitated towards each other in order to cope with the tragic loss. As a matter of fact, Laurel and I formed an even closer bond than of that I had with Hazel. It was majorly due to the fact that Laurel was very talkative and open. She always told me what was on her mind, and she wouldn't hesitate to ask me the most personal questions. It made me feel a little guilty at times when I remembered Hazel. But Laurel's parents were very kind and compassionate towards me. They were grateful for our new friendship. They believed my presence had really helped their daughter through the grieving process. There was one thing about Laurel that I never seemed to like or understand, for that matter. I guess she didn't want to be reminded of the tragic event. I too would end up crying every time I remembered the day I saw Hazel last. It's been so many years, but Laurel still doesn't like talking about Hazel. Sometimes I open up my picture book. When Hazel was here, we had made a collage. I like to take it down once in a while and fly through all the memories every time I feel down. But Laurel never liked it when I took out the pictures, and she would leave the room upset even when she saw an old video of Hazel and her. I stopped speaking of Hazel to her anymore. I understood the grief she may have gone through, and there was no reason to bring it up if she didn't want to experience that again. Over the days that I spent with Laurel, I came to know why exactly people call her wild. Laurel could oftentimes be temperamental, but I would be able to calm her down. Perhaps that was the reason why her parents liked having me around. Laurel had come to me asking for help. "Zoe, you need to come with me. It's urgent, and I need your help with this." "What is it, Laurel?" "I don't know how to say this, but remember Stan, Hazel's boyfriend?" "Yes, what about Stan?" He's been blackmailing me since Hazel passed away. I can't take this anymore. It's been too long." "Blackmailing? About what?" "Stan had some letters, love letters, and he had a video of himself and Hazel in a compromising position. I can't let him expose it to everyone. Hazel's dignity is at stake. It's a matter of my sister's reputation. I've been saving some money, but Stan is demanding too much." "What? All right, let's go right now. We need to get rid of it, for Hazel's sake. How much is he asking for?" I went back into my house and brought out some money that I had gathered. Laurel and I counted what we had and got into her car. "Where are we going? Where is he?" "He's waiting at the town cemetery. No one will see us there, and even if they do, they won't understand what we're up to." And before long, I could see the huge cemetery gate. Laurel stopped the car and got out. "Wait here, I have to open the gate." Laurel unlocked the gate and came back into the car to drive it inside. She then went out again to close the gate. When Zoe spotted Stan in the distance, she couldn't understand what Hazel saw in him, that she loved him so much. Stan was a creep, and now that she knew how he was blackmailing Laurel about her late sister, made me even more disgusted. Laurel was a good sister. I was happy to be helping out. There he is, that wicked animal. I watched as Laurel ran to Stan. They spoke for a while until I saw the two exchanging hands. Laurel grabbed onto the bag tightly and came running back to me. Jackpot. Great, now let's get out of here before Stan changes his mind. You never know what that creep has under his sleeve. I always had a feeling he wasn't the right guy for Hazel. Laurel tossed the bag onto the driver's seat and went to open the cemetery gates again. As I sat alone, curiosity was eating me from the inside out. I needed to know what was it in those letters, and what was recorded on that tape. Was this the reason why Hazel took her life? When I began reading them, I was thundered to discover the scandalous secret the two were hiding. This was what was bothering Hazel. If only I knew earlier, I would have told Hazel to stay away from this creep. As I tried to piece everything together, I opened the camcorder and played the video. My skin turned pale when I saw the tape. Just then, Laurel opened the car door. She took the camcorder from my hand and shut it off. "You don't need to see that," she said as she got into the car. Laurel pulled the car out and closed the gates again. I watched her cheerfully getting back into the car. She looked happy and relieved after getting hold of that bag Stan had been keeping. Laurel began driving. I didn't know what to say. After a moment of silence, Laurel began to speak. "Those letters weren't between Stan and Hazel. Those were my letters that I sent to Stan. You see, I had a crush on Stan since the day I saw him. but Hazel always had to get in the way. Stan was dating Hazel at the time, but it wasn't like he didn't like me. He was cheating on Hazel with me. I told him to leave her, but he wouldn't. I sent him letters warning him I'd have things my way if he didn't leave Hazel. He couldn't be with both of us at the same time. He had to choose. When Hazel found out, she was enraged. She wanted to take revenge on me. I knew Stan loved me more. He told me he only loved me. He was just using Hazel. He told me he would take my side, but when he came with his camcorder, I knew he only came to enjoy the catfight. While he laughed on and recorded me and Hazel ripping each other's hair off, I took Hazel's life right in front of him. Stan and I took her out into the shed behind the house and set her up so everyone would think Hazel took her own life. I only stared at Laurel as she spoke with a smile on her face. What had I done? Had I just helped the person that ended my best friend's life? I was sitting right next to a killer, to someone that felt no guilt in taking another life, and now I knew her dirty secret. What was Laurel going to do with me? Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.